Are you struggling with what you think and how you feel about yourself? Have you tried different modalities only to find that nothing changes? If that sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not doing anything wrong. You probably just don't have the right mindset or belief system. This is Live Happy, Healthy, and Inspired, the podcast that helps you create healthy habits, shift your mindset, manage your weight, find your inner peace, and live more purposely by sharing this podcast and my website, livehappyhealthyandinspired.com. My name is Brad, and I'm your motivational wellness coach. Today, I am talking about the mindset shift and belief system you absolutely must understand in your life if you want to think and feel better about yourself. In today's episode, you're going to learn the 3 mindset shifts and 1 belief system necessary to tremendously increase and improve how you think and feel about yourself, and how you can adopt and implement these for your life. So, if you're ready to transform and improve your joy of life, listen to this episode in its entirety. Welcome again, everybody, to another episode of the Live Happy, Healthy, and Inspired podcast. I am your host, Brad, and it's just going to be me going solo again today. Today, I have an exciting topic, and I think is a really important topic. I wanted to start off by saying that I live by a philosophy, and I call it my joie de vivre, my joy of life. And I think if there's one thing that we all have in common all over the world, regardless of our culture, our heritage, our language, our religious beliefs, or anything like that, I think if there's one thing we have in common, it's that we all want a high joie de vivre. We all want a high joy of life. And what I want to talk about today specifically is, well, how do we get that? How do we get a high joy of life? And specifically what I mean by a high joy of life, there are 2 things that factor into a high joy of life, or some people use the word quality, a high quality of life. And for me, it has to do with 1, how do I think about myself? And 2, how do I feel about myself? And I think what makes a high quality of life, or a high joie de vivre, a high joy of life for anyone, is how they think about themselves and how they feel about themselves. And so I wanted to share with you a couple of different things that I've learned along my journey today about how you can think better about yourself and how you can feel better about yourself. Because again, after all, that's what we all want. We all want to experience that high joy of life. Now, when it comes to improving or increasing your joy of life, improving the quality of your life, there's 2 things that I always like to talk about. The first is mindset, and the second is beliefs. What is your mindset and what is your belief system? Specifically, we use these 2 things, mindset and belief, play a huge role, a huge determining factor in how I think about myself and how I feel about myself. And again, how I think about myself and how I feel about myself goes a long way towards determining my joie de vivre, my joy of life. If I'm thinking good about myself and feeling good about myself, then more than likely I'm going to have a high joy of life. And that's what I want you to experience, is that same high joy of life that I've been blessed and fortunate enough to be able to undergo and experience a lot in great detail in the last 2 years. So let's start with mindset, because mindset plays a large role in determining how we think about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. Mindset, let me just say very quickly, is simply that voice in your head. What is that voice in your head telling you? And if you're not really aware of what that voice in your head is telling you, then you're probably going to make the same mistake that I made. This is one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life that led to me experiencing a very low joie de vivre, a very low joy of life. And that is, I was using my mindset, these thoughts in my head, and some of them I was not even aware of, but I was using these thoughts in my head to tear myself down. And obviously, if we want to experience a high quality of life, a high joy of life, that doesn't work. And it didn't work for me. And it finally dawned on me one day. I asked myself, why am I doing this? Why am I using my mindset to tear myself down? And the way I was tearing myself down was I would criticize myself if I didn't get something right. If something didn't go the way it was supposed to go, I would say something like, well, my life is no good anyway, or my life doesn't matter anyway.
all of this stuff was tearing me down. And again, when you're tearing yourself down, that leads to a low quality of life, a low joie de vivre, a low joy of life. I wanted to experience that.
I know what it's like to struggle with weight loss, lack motivation, and feel lost with no purpose. I've been there. This was me, overweight, unmotivated, and battling low self-esteem. But I took back my life, and now I'm here to help you do the same. My book, Take Back Your Life, is your guide to breaking through these challenges. It's time to reclaim your health, motivation, and self-worth. Readers are saying, a life-changing guide helped me find my purpose and the boost I needed to transform. Start your journey today. Let's take back your life together.
To experience the opposite. And I want you here and now, if you're listening on audio or if you're watching the YouTube version of this, I want you to experience a high quality of life. And so the way we do that is that we use our mindset in a couple of different ways. The most important lesson I've learned, what I want to share with you here, is use your mindset to build yourself up. Use your mindset to become your biggest cheerleader. So I remember the day I was standing outside and it just like a ton of bricks dawned on me that I had been using my mindset to tear myself down. And so the first thing that happened was I became aware of what I was thinking. I became aware of those voices that were in my head. I became aware of my mindset. And so that's what I want you to do. I want you to just take a moment, whatever you're doing, pause and reflect on what are some of the thoughts that you might have in your head that you are telling yourself. And ask yourself, are those thoughts working for you? In my case, they were not. And so I had to switch my thoughts. I had to switch my thinking. And that's what a mindset shift is all about. It's about shifting your thinking. And so I had to shift my thinking from tearing myself down to building myself up. And that's what I want you to do here today, is to shift your thoughts, shift your thinking, to use your mindset to build yourself up. This is the number one way I used my mindset to begin building myself up. It was very simple, very easy, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to start telling yourself, good job. That's it. Two very simple words. Anytime you do something, no matter what it is, tell yourself, good job. You take out the trash, say, hey, good job, Brad. If I woke up an extra 5 minutes early, I would say, hey, good job, Brad. You woke up an extra 5 minutes early. If I sent an email, or if I took my dog for a walk, or if I made a healthy meal, no matter what it was I did, I started telling myself, good job. Hey, good job for this, or good job for that. That's the very first thing I want you to do. That shift I want you to make with your mindset is no matter what it is you're doing in life, start telling yourself, good job. And then the second thing I want you to do to shift your mindset is what I did, is I started adding another phrase. Good job, Brad. I'm proud of you that. I started telling myself I'm proud of you. This is how I began using my mindset to build myself up and becoming my biggest cheerleader. When I use my mindset to build myself up and become my biggest cheerleader, my joy of life, my joie de vivre, my quality of life improved dramatically, and it will be the same for you. So whatever it is you're doing in life right now, tell yourself good job, and then follow it up with, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for this. I'm proud of you for that. Those two things alone will begin to build your joy of life. They'll begin to build your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your self-value, your self-appreciation, all of that. That's the first way to begin using your mindset to build yourself up. Again, with the goal of improving our joy of life. Because our joy of life, again, is how we think about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. The next thing I want you to do with your mindset, this is a powerful one, this is a powerful shift, is I want you to start practicing the art of forgiveness. Now, here's where it gets tricky. I'm not talking about forgiving someone on the outside of your life that may have wronged you, or in your interpretation, in your mind, may have wronged you in one way or another. I want you to start practicing the art of forgiveness for yourself, meaning I want you to start forgiving yourself. This was the second mistake that I made, is that I was blaming myself for anything and everything that was happening in my life. If something didn't work out, it was always my fault, I felt like, and I was always blaming myself. So the next thing I had to do to shift my mindset to improve the quality of life, what I want you to do is to start forgiving yourself. I don't care what it is. The first and foremost, start forgiving yourself for blaming yourself. Start forgiving yourself for blaming yourself. In other words, I want you to stop blaming yourself. And it's very simple. Just practice this phrase. Brad, obviously use your name. I forgive you for fill in the blank. Brad, I forgive you that that date didn't go so well. I had to tell that to myself a couple of times. Brad, I forgive you that, you didn't meet your financial goals for this month. Or Brad, I forgive you that this didn't happen or this didn't go the way you were hoping or thinking or something like that. Practice the art of forgiveness and start forgiving yourself. That is the second mindset shift to make to begin improving your joy of life, your quality of life, your joie de vivre, so that you can have the best overall quality of life, because that's really what it's all about. That's what we're all here for, to experience life on the best possible footing that we can.
The next mindset shift I want you to focus on is this idea of focus. I want you to focus specifically on what type of person do you wish to be? What type of person do you want to show up in the world? I had to sit down and I had to take a hard look at myself. I was showing up tired, lethargic, sometimes grouchy. I'll admit that, being a little bit vulnerable right there. Ask yourself, how do I want to show up in the world? Do I want to show up optimistic? Do I want to show up, more kind, more compassionate, more full of energy? Whatever type of person that you want to be, that you want to show up, that's the third mindset shift to make, is that you have to focus on that type of person that you want to show up as. And then in just a moment, we'll get into the belief system is about what is blocking you from showing up as that type of person. I had to set my focus on showing up as more compassionate, more generous, more capable, things of that nature. But my belief system was keeping me from believing those, or that I was able to have that mindset shift. So I want to summarize this part very quickly with regards to mindset. This is how, again, we build up our joie de vivre, our joy of life. Use your mindset to make these three shifts. One, tell yourself, I'm proud of myself and good job. Use that mindset to build yourself up. The second way, again, to use your mindset shift is to, damn it. The second way, again, to have a mindset shift is to practice the art of self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself for blaming yourself for whatever it is that you have going on in your life. Simply tell yourself, I forgive you, fill in your name, I forgive you, Brad, for blank. Fill in whatever that event is. And then the third mindset shift to make, again, to improve that quality of life, that joie de vivre, that joy of life, is focus on that type of person that you want to be. Now let me switch ahead or jump ahead a little bit and this idea of belief, because mindset and belief are the two factors that really go towards determining our joie de vivre, our joy of life. Again, it's about having the best life possible, and that means thinking good about ourselves, feeling good about ourselves. So the next part of that is our belief. What is our belief system? What is your belief system? Let me back up and say a belief is nothing more than something you are certain about, something that you feel in your heart to be true. Now, the challenging part with this is, with our beliefs, is that we're not aware of most of our beliefs. Most of our beliefs are hidden. You might have heard the term subconscious. Most of your beliefs are deep down in your subconscious mind, and we're not even aware of them. But let me tell you three very common hidden beliefs, subconscious beliefs. You might have heard of the term limiting belief before, that pretty much every single person has. And if you have these, then congratulations, you are very normal, because I certainly have these limiting beliefs, these hidden beliefs, and I still have them to a certain degree. That's why everything I'm telling you today, I work and practice on this every day, and you should do the same. Work and practice on what I'm telling you here every chance that you get. But the three most common hidden beliefs, limiting beliefs. You might have heard the term imposter syndrome. The three most common beliefs that lead to imposter syndrome are: one, I'm not worthy; two, I'm not deserving; and three, I'm not enough. So it could be something along the lines of: I'm not worthy of money, I'm not worthy of love, I'm not worthy of a beautiful, healthy, happy relationship, I'm not worthy of a better life. I'm not deserving of a better life. I'm not deserving of money. I'm not deserving of a happy, healthy relationship. And then, of course, the last one is: I'm not enough. I'm not enough to have a happy, healthy relationship. I'm not enough to have money. I'm not enough to have my dream life, whatever it is. At some point or another, I can say with a large degree of certainty, every single person on this planet has had those beliefs. And now I want to tell you where these beliefs come from. These beliefs come from an attachment. An attachment that says, I will only be worthy if I lose the weight. An attachment that says, I will only be worthy if I have a certain job. An attachment that says, I will only be worthy if I have enough money in the bank account. An attachment that says, well, I will only be deserving of this reward if I do X, Y, or Z. For example, I'll only be deserving of a beautiful relationship if I lose the weight. That's a very common one. Another one: I'll only be deserving of this job or whatever if I go through certain amount of, I don't know, a boot camp or something like that. And the last one, of course, says, I'm only enough if I have X, Y, and Z in my life. I'll be enough if I have the job, if I have the car, if I have the house, if I have the relationship. This is our belief system, and this is the belief system that's holding you back. This is the belief system that held me back from what? This is the belief system that's holding you back from experiencing that very high joie de vivre, that very high joy of life. Now, the trouble with this is called attached belief. This is called conditional belief. I will only be worthy. I will only be deserving. I will only be enough if I have X, Y, Z, if I achieve X, Y, Z, if I do X, Y, Z. And what I want to teach you here, again, this is the third big mistake that I made in my journey, is that I attached my joy of life, how I felt about myself and how I thought about myself, to all this exterior stuff. I thought I would only be worthy if I ran all of these races that I did for so many years. I thought I would only be worthy if I published a book or if I achieved something, if I even did this podcast. I thought my worthiness and my deservingness was attached to doing all these things: writing books, doing podcasts, running races. I learned that that's not true. And what I want to tell you here and now with regards to all of this is that's not true for you also. Your worthiness, your deservingness, your enoughness is not attached to anything. It is not attached to what you do or what you don't do. It is not attached to what you achieve or what you don't achieve. And it is not attached certainly to what you have or what you don't have. Who you are right here and now is worthy. Who you are right here and now is enough. Who you are right here and now is deserving. This is the belief system that you need to adopt to then shift your joie de vivre from going down like mine was to then going up. Because what life is really all about is how we think about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. And so I want you to develop, it's called unconditional attachment. Your worthiness, your deservingness, your enoughness is not attached to what you do, what you don't do, what you have, what you don't have, or what you achieve or what you don't achieve. These two things, shifting your mindset, adopting this belief system of unconditional attachment, is going to propel your life, make your quality of life, make that joy, make that inner peace, what I call, again, your joie de vivre, your joy of life. It's going to make it excel off the chart. I have more peace in my life now. I have more joy in my life now. I experience the greater things. It is true what they say: you can have more joy with less. You don't need the house. You don't need the car. You don't even need to lose the weight to feel good about yourself, to love yourself, to know that you are worthy, to know that you are deserving, to know that you are enough. Use those mindset shifts. Adopt this belief system. If you need more help, I would love to chat more with you. You can reach me at my website, livehappy, healthy, and inspired.com. Until next time, everyone, live happy, healthy, and inspired.